Today is the 5th. No, sorry, apologies. It's Tuesday and today is the 5th of January, year 2012. I'm going to give you a little bit of hint on how people get killed easily and why they deserve their dead bodies and broken bones, regardless of their race, their religion, their cultures, their nationalities, regardless of their royal background and their wealthy, rich background or any background. Back in the 90s, we had in Guyana, South America, a case, assassination murder case on the famous Main Street, Georgetown, Guyana, South America. And it was called the Monica Reese story, where Monica Reese was thrown out from a white van in the middle of the night off on Main Street after she was already dead in the vehicle. So she died. And they spent a number of years in Guyana, South America, trying to find the killer of Monica Reese. They thought it's a local Guyanese person. It was only when Anne Marie Ragubeer-van came to Great Britain, United Kingdom, and I myself got in trouble in the year 2006. It was only then I uncovered the truth about the real Monica Reese story. The Monica Reese that died in Guyana, South America, that was thrown out from the vehicle on the Main Street. It's a game these foreigners play. Monica Reese's story was linked to the Russians, some Muslim people of Africa countries, some of the British secret society people, and it had to do with drugs, cocaine, and money. As it turned out, Monica Reese, when she was thrown out of the vehicle, she actually did not die. The same method of what they were trying to label Miss Anne Marie Ragubeer-van in Great Britain on about resurrection of the dead, bringing back the dead, is the case of Monica Reese. Now, Monica Reese's story was also linked to Guyana former President Barra Jagdeo and a number of Black African men and women, including a number of white men and women. And it had a link that Monica Reese used to stay in a place on the most famous street, Plumstead High Street, London, Great Britain, United Kingdom. Now, some of the things I may say may very well shock you. We had another case of sniper black suit gun shootout in Herstel, East Bangladesh, Guyana, South America. I'm remembering the name all the time. Yes, the Sanichar murder case. Now, the Sanichar murder case is an Indian family member, and the lady husband he made his money from pushing cocaine drugs. And one early morning at 03 a.m. hours, you say Guyana is a bad place. I used to walk. I used to travel from Georgetown, Guyana, to Garden of Eden, all hours in the night. I used to go home sometimes at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning, and that was okay by my family. I used to walk through that muddy dam. Uh, one morning, 3 a.m., the Sanichar family, one man walked down the street on the East Bank Road, dressed in covered black and his face covered with black as well, just the same way as the white Muslim men and white Christian Orthodox men of Europe and Asia and Africa countries and Russia dressed in Great Britain, United Kingdom when they're doing their criminal activities where they cover their face. And so this man walks down the street normal, and when he was close to the house, then he pulls his head mask on. So that means he would have studied the house a couple days before his mission attack, meaning that he was watching his predator, Sanichar, before the attack a couple days later. And so he went into the house and he took his silencer gun and he just pow, 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 into Mr. Sanichar in his bedroom. Now, Mr. Sanichar had a little child, and the child was frightened and scared, and the child hid under the bed while the man was being gunned down on top of the bed. Pow, 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 pow. I don't know where the wife was, Mistress Sanichar, but the child was alive. So often enough, where they say that children are the eyewitness of murder cases and criminal activities, that is identified as true. Now, Sanichar, he was in a cocaine drugs bust, and that's how he got his dead body, leaving his wife and children behind, who was lucky that early morning. And it was linked again to Great Britain, United Kingdom, and it was linked to up north of England, where there are several different kinds of white men and women. And so it was linked to a particular Russian German icon, somebody I know. And my lips are sealed because Sanichar has already been dead for so many years already. His wife already has another man. So that's not important. Everyone knows that his dead body was linked to cocaine drugs. And cocaine drugs is a detrimentally dangerous thing. Now, there were cases in Great Britain, United Kingdom, back in year 2007, where man was beaten up in one location and brought to another location. Beating up in north of England and then brought back down to London, in north of London, and then brought to southeast of London. Was buried in the, what's that place? Close past Abbeywood, going up using 96 bus, going towards Dartford. There's a burial ground on the other side. Buried there, and the white famous Eastern European men of countries like Romania and Russian countries who does black magic and resurrect the dead. They dig up back the dead body and resurrect the dead and send the dead body live man back to Guyana, South America. Now that might cheese your mind, but that's true. So, in the court of laws in Great Britain, United Kingdom, Sheikh was preaching, and Marie Ragubeer-van den brother died, and the rest of the British white men and women who collect the money and pocket the money. Unfortunately, Miss Anne Marie Ragubeer-van den my brothers are not dead, but I know the truth of what went on at that location. The guy that got beaten up was not my brother. He was my brother, wife, brother. So he was brother-in-laws. So the brother Krishna took the whiplashes and the beating up, and he sends my brother Stephen Augustus Ragubeer back to Guyana to take care of the place. And the reason for that was Krishna and his sister Natasha Prasad Ragubeer and his mother Auntie Rani and his father Uncle Skal, his brother Lalchan. They had known my brother Stephen Augustus Ragubeer for a long time. I know them because we all grew up as children in two different neighborhoods. I grew up on the first street of Garden of Eden, East Bandamrara, Guyana, South America, and they were in the next village, which is Brickery, East Bandamrara, Guyana, South America. So they used to very high respect and worship my brother Stephen Augustus Ragubeer because my brother was the treasurer of the church, of the Nazarene church. He used to take care of all the money collection that comes into the church. And he used to go to church every day and every Sundays. So everyone in the neighborhoods that comes to the church of Brickery Nazarene Church respect my brother Stephen Augustus a lot, and they worship him. And if Natasha Prasad Ragubeer, her mother, her brothers, if they wanted money, they asked my brother Stephen Augustus Ragubeer. So with all of that, there was an enormous amount of respect towards my brother Stephen Augustus Ragubeer. So that is why Krishna Prasad, which is the brother of Natasha Prasad Ragubeer, uh, was willing to take the whiplashes in the place of my brother Stephen Augustus Ragubeer. Now you have another Indian guy, the guitarist. His name is Satesh, and he is from uh, Essequibo, Guyana, South America. And Satesh has a lot of respect for my brother Stephen Augustus Ragubeer, myself, and my family because when he comes from Essequibo Coast, he comes to stay at our home at Garden of Eden. So Satesh would also would have taken a great amount of whiplashes and beatings in the place of my brother Stephen Augustus Ragubeer because Satesh had two sisters. I don't remember both of their names, but one of their names was Mona. No, Mona was the pastor daughter. Pastor Albert had two daughters, Mona and another girl. And they are dark-skinned Indians and used to go to Brickery Church, Brickery Nazarene Church. And so they were originally from Essequibo, Guyana, South America as well. So there was a whole amount of uh, enormous, huge heap of respect towards my family home and my brother Stephen Augustus Ragubeer, because when they come all the way from Esquiva Coast, they would come to my home, our home, at house number 5, Garden of Eden, East Bangladesh. So over the years, when the whiplashing and the jail and the court cases was going on in London and north of England over over my name, it was not my brother Stephen Augustus Ragubeer that got whiplash or beaten, but it was his brother-in-law and his friend, close family friend that goes to the same church. It was not my brother. My brother, Stephen Augustus Ragubeer, is still alive. I speak with him on the telephone. His daughter and his son is still alive. My brother, Michael Andrew Ragubeer, is still alive. His wife, Natasha DeCamp Ragubeer, she is still alive. She was the one who understand and read Dutch language clearly, and she had read through the divorce document and the other paper document while she was among us, the half-dead injured man and his families when they were going from north of England, Scotland, Edinburgh, Glasgow, come back to places like Acton, Ealing, Southall, Shepherd's Bush, and all those areas, sometimes in Woolwich. It was um, my sister-in-law. She's a dark-skinned Indian girl. Her hair is curly, so she can very well pass as a black African girl. And the reason for that is because her families are the black Madras kind of Indian. And I think she has a little bit of her stepfather might have been black African, a tall black African man. So that is where she has that complexion and look from. She's black, smooth skin face with curly hair. She was married to my brother Michael Andrew Ragubeer, and they have one son, Joshua Ragubeer. They were in England as well when all the story was going on, and so Natasha DeCamp Ragubeer had known the truth of the half-dead injured body and all the lies that every Indian, Black Africans, white of Great Britain, United Kingdom, European countries, and other countries has been playing games and telling lies in court cases and monies. My very own family was there. When the half-dead man was being beaten up by Raphael and the others, it was my sister-in-laws and my brothers who were there, who help him up, who feed him, who clothe him, who clean him. It was my brothers, Stephen Augustus Ragubeer and my brother Michael Andrew Ragubeer, my sister-in-law Natasha DeCamp Ragubeer, who on camera begged the guy not to have sex with her, that she was willing to cook and clean and do any other work around the half-dead injured man, but she did not want to have sex because she wanted to stay faithful to my brother, Michael Andrew Ragubeer. So the white men and women in Great Britain, United Kingdom that tricked them the money and court cases, in my heart, in my mind, my body, my soul, I know that God will turn on me one day so drastically, so bad that you'll be sorry. Your tears that you cry will not be enough to correct your mistakes. And that's a message for the rich Indian men and women of north of England, north of London, the white men and women, the black African men and women who tricked them all. I know about it, but I didn't say anything. And that's a message for Sheikh as well in your fancy royal families. Um, there was a white guy who saved my sister-in-law, Natasha de Camp Ragubeer. I was living at 164 Chandler's Drive in Erith, DA18 for 1LW. 1LW, DA18, 1LW. I was living there from 24th of May 2011 to the 26th of June 2011. And during which of the time, the white guy, he brought my sister-in-law, Natasha de Camp Ragubeer, and he put her in the flat just above 16th floor, which that flat would have been 173, flat 173, Chandler's Drive, Erith, the 18 1LW. He had put her in with a little baby and her son. That white guy, he ended up getting jail. I don't know, someone else had it packed in for him. So my sister-in-law went back to Guyana, South America, and first, and then she went to her back to her parents' home because she lives in Naikari, Paramaribo, Suriname, South America. So she went back to Paramaribo, Suriname, South America with her son. Her son and herself, they are living in Suriname at the moment. They live in Naikari in Suriname, South America, which he's going to school. He talks to my brother, Michael Andrew, in Guyana. So, Kate, Kate, and the other big built white girl, Emma, I think. Emma, I think her name was Emma. Her hair was in a bob style at that time. She had the injured guy who had the injured penis, dickhead, which was burnt. She had him inside the flat 163 Chandler's Drive, Erith, DA18 1LW, which was the flat next to 164. That's the door of 163, and this is the door of 164. And so I knew what was going on inside of 163, where she put him inside of the bathtub and leave him there um, because of his burnt penis. He was having like, when you're healing, your cuts and grazes are healing, those dead piece of fleshes are falling off or you're bleeding. So she put him in the bathtub to lay in the bathtub inside of 163 Chandler's Drive, Erith, DA18 1LW, before she goes to work. She was working in Bexley Heath, and so she had a connection with the people who were working with Bexley Heath Job Center. So all along the line, I knew that the white men and women and Indians and black Africans had a connection. This injured man and these people had a connection. So I knew I had to be very careful. And even though I was making the report, I was still being very careful because at that particular time, I was out of a job and I was on job seeker allowance. So every time I have to go to Bexley Heath Job Center to sign on every 2 weeks on a fortnight before I get £143, £46 as job seeker allowance into my bank account. Even if I wanted to tell them something bad or slap them up or slam their faces to the wall and tell them that I know what they've done is wrong or incorrect, I couldn't do it. I had to remain professional. And it was like a stifle. It was such a hard thing for me to do. When you know the truth and you have to remain silent, it was such a struggle for me. It was such a stifle for me. But it was not so bad for me because I was commuting from South Hall, Ealing, Acton, and Shepherd's Bush, all that way before I go sign on at Bexley Heath Job Centre for my £146 on a fortnight. So that was not so bad, but it was such a big burden on my stomach because I knew it was an innocent life, and the only thing that these white men and women and black African men and women and even some of the Indian men and women were interested in was the money. And so that is one of the reasons why I made the statement that I made, that most of those white men and women, regardless if they're from Africa, they're from royal family, they're from Great Britain, United Kingdom, they're from Europe, they deserve every broken bones and every dead bodies that they got. That was one of the reasons why I say that. And if they call that a British secret society, then I can tell you that if that's what you call a British secret society or a secret society, then they break bones of other people each day. They kill people each day. They make people drink blood and all kinds of nasty dirtiness. They give whiplashes and things like that. So if that's what you call a good family or good friends or good conduct or proper people, I can tell you that those are incorrect things, disrespectful things, and wrong things. So on the top floor of Chandler's Drive, which would have been the top floor, uh, the door number was 170. Now, the guy from Dubai and the Indian girl with the long hair with the middle part, she was inside of 170 Chandler's Drive, Erith, DA181LW. And so was one of the black skin royal guy. And one day when I was sitting down on the sofa chair inside 164 Chandler's Drive, Erith DA181LW, often enough, I like to look through the window. And so the building opposite me, window had white canvas. Inside of that building, I did not know the correct flat number, but inside there was Colette Donnell, Rachel someone, and I recognize her because that window was the kitchen window, and they usually have the blind pulled up during the day, and they're moving around in the kitchen, and the light is on, so you can identify who it is inside of the kitchen. One day, I was sitting down one evening, not too dark. I was sitting down inside the living room of 164 Chandler's Drive, and the sofa chair faces the window. So I was sitting down there, and I was just relaxing. And then I look out the window and I look straight across the building, across the window. And I looked on the canvas window. And on the canvas window, you know, when you're making a movie screen to make a movie, you use white canvas because the movie reflects on the white canvas. So I looked on the white canvas and the glass, the canvas was pulled down, and so I looked in it and I was seeing someone changing their clothing. A man. He took his shirt off, his blue armless shirt, and he opens a wardrobe and he's looking for other clothing to put on. And so I am watching, and then I looked up. I came to the window to look up to see which flat this video preview of this canvas was coming from. And what happened, it was the guy inside of 170 Chandler's Drive, Erit DA181LW. His light in his flat was on and the windows curtain was clear. So everything that he was doing inside of the flat at that particular time, the light and whatever he was doing was bouncing on the canvas on the window of the flat up, up, above, which when you're sitting down inside a 164 Chandler's Drive, Erit, the 181LW, that you will see everything that he was doing. So I had a great look of seeing him nude and naked and going into his wardrobe and everything he does, and he changes clothing. And to my surprise, he wear a wig like he was going somewhere. And he was linked to the Dubai royal family. So I got my pen and paper and I write and I say I can see everything that you do in there, and I explain how I did. And I went upstairs and I put it under his door. And next morning he put a note back under my door, and the note was from a card of a Holiday Inn notepad with Holiday Inn address and telephone number at the bottom. And he writes on the card very neatly in black ink, 164, I will call the police. So um, I knew he was going to call the police, but I was trying to help him. And so that was when Bexley Heath Housing asked me to move out from the premises. So Bexley Heath Housing, Rosemary Cameron Blackwell, and the other white women of Bexley Heath Housing kicked me out and my son out of 164 Chandler's Drive, Erit, DA18 1LW. For those of you who don't know the truth, uh, then these are some of the things that will pointer to you why I don't help to save people's life anymore in Great Britain, United Kingdom. Why I leave them to die and get their broken bones. Because it's hopeless, it's pointless to get involved in Great Britain to try to ever save the life of a white man or woman, or black African men or women, or even the rich royal family of Sheikh of Dubai family who are in Great Britain, United Kingdom. And that was how I got thrown out of a flat. And that had a lot to do with Sheikh from Dubai families. So for many of you who don't know the truth, that was the same pattern and structure of what happened at 90 Hinsky Park, Abbeywood, SE2 90E. I was living at Abbeywood SE290E, and the same injured man, they had him inside of 91 Hinsky Pot SE290E. While there was one girl who um, she got injured. I don't know what those Indian people were doing. One other Muslim lady, how they clipped their clitoric, and I believe the girl was very injured, and they brought her to 91 Hinsky Pot, Abbeywood, SE2 90E. So all the injured people, they were bringing to 91 Hinsky Pot, Abbeywood, SE2 90E. That was the tightest time of the court cases. So Sheikh knows why he's being so nice with me. Uh, I was living at 90 Hinsky Park, Abbeywood, SE2 90E. The police used to come to the house. The police was involved. The police used to come to the house 91 and 93. The girl that called herself Kate, she was involved as well. Kate used to have sex with Karim Ramatullah. And there was a little boy, because the night when Karim Ramatullah was getting jail, Kate was at 90, 91, 92. Kate was at 92 Hinsky Park, Abbeywood, SE2, 90E, when Kate had a little boy with her, and Kate called the police. So you had two police officers' car came, and I had the lights in the kitchen of 90 Hinsky Park, Abbeywood, SE290E switched off, so I can stand back in the balcony and listen to the conversation of the police officers and see Kate face and the child face. So it was Kate that had Karim Ramatullah jailed, and the police took Kate and the little boy child she had away in the police car. I don't know where they went, but I saw them when they went into the car. So I knew everything that was going on, the police was involved. Now, from 90 Hinsky Park, Abbeywood, SE290E, the Indian lady in the sari and the shalwar, she was linked to the guy in the black t-shirt, the tall guy. He was linked to Anna and the Dubai family. And they were inside of the house. Just this is 90 Hinsky Park, Abbeywood, SE290E, and I am standing on this balcony here, and I looked over that house there, which is in the next row of building, and that house would have been number one, two, three, four, and he was inside one of those houses. Now, the next short, black-skinned Indian royal guy, he was calling himself a nickname, and his nickname was Mamu. I knew him because I went to his home in Ilford. And so the black African guys who are now trying to trick up the money, the black African guys was inside of that house one day, one evening, and the lights was on, the windows was open, and they had a crime in there. I don't know what they do, but there was lots of blood, and so the black African guy was mopping up the blood from the floor and cleaning up all the blood stains from the floor. I did not witness what happened, but I only witnessed how he was wiping up the blood and cleaning up the mess. So I knew something went on there. At the time, I McDonald's, that was year 2010 September. Woolwich McDonald's had just fired me. I got fired because I make a report for a cubic tablet. If you look at my photograph in my McDonald's uniform, you will see I held in my hand a little white tablet. That is not a tablet. That is a floor washing tablet. That is something you throw in the bucket of water and then you mop the floor. The girl that called herself Hala, uh, and the other Muslim girl, they were very, I don't know, they were all wicked and evil Muslim people and Indian people of India and Pakistan. And so they put the tablet inside a glass of water and drink it. So that was how the stomach was, the flesh of the stomach went soft, soft, soft and pulled away because that is not a tablet. That was a floor washing tablet. That was a tablet of very high chemicals that you need to put in the bucket of water to mop the floors of McDonald's, to take the grease away from the kitchen floors and that floor. So no, that was how the flesh of the individual was torn away because I made a report, but by me making the report, trying to save somebody's life, I got fired from my job. That's the bad part. So, for those of you in Guyana, South America, of Indian men and women, and Black African men and women, be very cautious when you come to European countries of Great Britain, United Kingdom, and other European countries. Uh, don't make the same mistake I make, because the minute you get involved to try to save the life of someone else, you lose your job, you lose your house, you lose your money. Don't make the same mistake I make, because that is how I got thrown out of a job, I got thrown out of a money, I got thrown out of a house, and it's not worth it. Why you want to fight to save a white man or a woman life when you're going to get thrown out of a job? It's not worth it. So with that, I want to tell the whole world. That's why I said to my brothers, don't get involved, because I know the truth. It's not like I didn't know the truth. That was one of the reasons why the girl got whiplashed. You don't know how wicked and evil those girls were before. There were three white girls, and they were very wicked, evil white girls. They're a lot bigger now, and I know they're very sorry for what they did, but they did very big damages. You can kill people like that. And so, because in my experiences, the reports I made to help to save the lives of other people did not do me any favors at all. It did not do me good. It only kicked me out of a job. It made me lose money. It made me lose house. So when you think about it, it is not worth it. And the reason why I had cursed the Indian people of India and Pakistan and Africa was because they tried to do a cover up by saying they are making a movie. And I'm thinking, well, I used to work in the same company for Igala Hubi, and I saw something wrong happening to him, and I tried to save his life. But when I tried to save his life, I didn't get nothing out of it. I nearly get killed. I lost my job. I lost my home. I lost my money. That's what I got for trying to save the life of Igala Hubi. And then the world and the nation in year 2015 and 2016 is talking about who had sex with who. I am not interested in who had sex with who. I am interested in getting my money back. That's what I'm interested in. Then the Indian people of India, Africa, Asia countries, yes, and even Great Britain, United Kingdom, the born and bred Indians, they say we're making a movie. You're making a movie on the risk of an innocent life. And when you have dead bodies and broken bones, then you're crying. And you want to put the blame off on Anne Marie Ragubeer-van. I was the eyewitness. I got fired from my job. I lost my job. I lost my money. I lost my home. And then them stink Indian people from India and Pakistan and Africa country and Great Britain, United Kingdom, and even from Guyana, South America, you have the audacity to turn around and say, Anne Marie Ragubeer van den Dabestein, she had sex as a child. She had sex with more than 5 men. She's a whore and a slut, puppy bitch. She does not make an effort. There's nothing good about her. She does not save money. That's what the Indians of all skin color, white and black and yellow and brown and purple, and even the white British women and men, and the black African men and women said. And that was one of the reasons why I said that don't trust or don't entrust yourself into black African men and women that easily in Great Britain, United Kingdom, and European countries, because black African men and women of Jamaica in particular, Nigeria, South Africa, and other parts of Africa, and Great Britain, United Kingdom, they will take a $5 to cover up a murder crime. They don't care about the innocent life that just died. They just take the $5, the £5, and move the dead body away. Sir Richard Branson, family member, was inside of a house. This is 90 Hinskipat Abbeywood, SE290E. And on this side lane, the entrance lane, was some houses on that side. And Sir Richard Branson had in one of those houses, I can't remember the house number, but I have it written in documentation in PDF file. And I have the photograph. They were inside of the house there. They were involved. And they used black African men to dispose of the dead body. So that was one of the reasons why I said and I state that I would watch Sir Richard Branson, the British, die with no mercy, because I know their crimes, I know their evilness, I know all the wrong things they did. There was a Hindu guy who had a big religious Hindu statue of Lord Hanuman, and he had this big religious Lord Hanuman statue in one of the house on the side in the garden for a couple, I think it was less than a month, and then he moved and he gone. He would have believed to be linked to Jagesh's sister and Jagesh's wife. Now, this is 90 Hinskipat Abbeywood, S290E. And straight across the walk paths on the houses on that square there, it, from my bedroom window, when I sit on my computer and I pull the curtains, I can see the house straight across. Now, inside of the house straight across is where the sheikh that was sick and held on the house arrest by black African men and women of red skin black African, brown skin black African, black skin black African, and white men and women of British. All of them used to go to that house. Now the curtains of the window used to be pulled and the lights on, so I used to see shake. And so I used to sit on my computer in my room and watch, like I'm sitting here. I'm sitting on the sofa chair at the moment, and straight above ahead of me is a window, lots of clear glass. I pull the curtain away so I can see straight at the building. There's two buildings, one, two, three buildings straight ahead of me. Straight ahead of me, the top building, the light is on. I can see if anyone walks inside of their room because my glass window is clear and I'm watching straight ahead. Now, if I had a binoculars and I looked, I will see a lot clearer. I used to have a binoculars, but I don't have it now. Coming back to that story of the binoculars and why people say I know too much. That is true. Now, the top building flat has the lights on. And then the second building, I can see the light is on in the living room as well. The curtain in the bedroom is pulled, but there's like a little light in it, you can tell from the curtain. Then the flat below, the curtains are pulled, but you can see the light is on, and there's a little square box where the light is very bright, so you know people are inside. Now the flats below that, the curtains are pulled in the living room and the lights are on, so you cannot see what they're doing. But in the bedroom, the lights, there's two lights there, and the curtain is pulled slightly. So if they do anything and I'm sitting here, I can see clearly. But there is nobody there at the moment, just the lights on. The flat below, the lights are completely out. The next building, the top flat, the light is on, bright. Then on the other side, the light is on, but the curtains are pulled slightly. The flat below, the lights are out on both flats, so it's dark. Then the flat below, the lights are on, but the curtains are pulled. But you can see how bright it is. The next flat, the lights are on, the curtains are pulled, but it's bright. And the flat below, the curtains are pulled and it's dark, but there is a little square box that looks a little bit reddish. That means that there is a light there, but you cannot see what's going on inside of the flat. Yeah, and so you can go right down and things like that. On the next building far off is the Christmas light of a blue Christmas light. And I'm just sitting here and I'm seeing all of that. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm sitting here in a sofa chair inside flat 14 Mansion House, 10 Kale Road, Irritier, 184 BN, London, Great Britain, United Kingdom. Just sitting here on this sofa chair, talking to you on this computer and looking through the windows where the curtains are drawn and the glass is so clear, I can see outside. So that tells you a lot, doesn't it? Now coming back to, I talk about the binoculars. I had not only one, but I had two binoculars. And so one of the binoculars I had used at 164 Chandler's Drive here at DA18 1LW. I had also used the binoculars at 90 Hinskipad Abbeywood S290E. And I had also used the binoculars at 70 Cole Close SC28 8AX London, Great Britain, United Kingdom, Thamesmead. So that was how come partially you can say I know too much. I know a lot. Yes, indeed, I know a lot because I was the eyewitness. But you cannot ever force someone to testify in the court of laws to any causes or any cases against their will if they don't want to. Now, though I am within my full rights of writing publicly, legally, and internationally for the world to know the truth and see the truth of what I know from my experiences, those are my personal experiences, henceforth you are welcome to use my videos on the internet, my written statements on the internet to help yourself and protect yourself inside a court of laws, in the prison cells, in the jail cells, outside the court of laws as well, to help yourself, to protect yourself and your friends and your families out of a jail term, out of a prison, out of life sentences, etc., etc. But I don't have to turn up in the court of laws and testify in the court of laws to anything. But you can use my videos, you can use my public statements. You're most welcome. I am not charging you. You can pull them off Facebook. You can pull them off Google. You can pull them off MSN. You can pull them off from Tripod. You can pull them off from all the other sites that I have them. You're most welcome. I and Marie Ragubeer-van is granting you that permission that you can use my statements, you can use my videos, you can use my picture slides to protect yourself, your friends, your families, your associates, and even a stranger you may know and want to help to save that person's life out of a jail term or a prison sentence or any sorts of trouble. You're most welcome. I am not charging you. You're welcome to use that information. You don't have to ask my permission. You know, I'm granting you that permission publicly on live satellite camera. You are welcome in any countries around the world to use my videos, my statement slides, my photo slides to help protect yourself, your friends, your family member, your associates, or even a total stranger out of a jail term or life sentences in any prisons around the world or any court of law cases. I am not charging you and I am not stopping you. You're welcome. There were cases where my very own brother went to HSBC Bank, London, Great Britain, United Kingdom, to transfer money into the account of Miss Anne Marie Ragubeer-van at HSBC account number 322775506, sort code 400106, and address flat 14 Mission House, 10 Kale Road, Erith, DA 18 4BN, London, Great Britain, United Kingdom. The officers, the clerk at the desk questioned my brother and asked my brother, what is your relationship with Miss Anne Marie Ragubeer-van? And so she did not want to help him into transfer the money into my HSBC account. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the legalities of the laws when you want to transfer money, cash at the counter to someone else's account, the cashier cannot question you such questions, or the officers cannot question you such questions, or give you a hard time, or even block the money, or withheld the money, or trick you the money. By laws, I have walked into HSBC Bank in Shepherd's Bush, in Acton, in Ealing, in South Hall, and I asked the same question. Is a person being questioned when they have to transfer money into another person's account cash at the counter? I was told by the cashiers at those offices that no, all you have to do is have the person account number and sort code to transfer money into that person's account. And so you cannot withhold the money. And so I told the cashier that my family member and another individual who went to transfer money into my account was given an evidently hard time in London, Great Britain, United Kingdom about transferring money into Miss Anne Marie Ragubeer-van HSBC account. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this was one of the reasons why I did not drop my case, because even the bankers, the biggest thieves in Great Britain, United Kingdom, are the bankers, the cashiers, and the security officers. And you make out Anne Marie Ragubeer-van I look stupid. I look like a fool. So for those Sheikh and others who state that they transfer money into Miss Anne Marie Ragubeer-van HSBC account, please note that you would have to provide your proof of evidence of a receipt, because usually you're being given a receipt. When you give cash at the counter to the cashier, they give you a receipt that is stamped and date that you actually transfer the money into that account. Now, Sheikh, Yoram Ahubi, Goram, Poram, Rachel, Raj, Karan, Karim, if you transfer that money honestly, Fatima, Halima, Sulima, Havia, Hala, Maha, Saha, if you honestly, Salah Belhaj, Free Belhaj, if you actually honestly transferred that money into Miss Anne Marie Ragubeer-van HSBC account, you would have been given a receipt, stamp, and date, and that would have account, which means you can take that receipt and file a lawsuit against HSBC Bank worldwide. So for Kim Jong of Asia country, I know Kim Jong. I had contact with Kim Jong via email. Kim Jong was serving exile in Asia, and Kim Jong contact Miss Anne Marie Ragubeer-van and told me that he was serving exile in Asia and he needed my help. So Kim Jong is the director of the World Bank. So Kim Jong, if you block my money, Free Belhaj, the British police, Rachel, and anyone else, the only way to clear your name is to provide your dated stamp receipt. And that's a message for Yora Mahuvi, Chet, Set, Hala, Maha, Saha, Rachel, Igala Huvi, Yora Mahuvi, Goram, Poram. That's a message. That's a solid message. Salah Belhaj, your wife, if you have one, your sister. That's a solid message. You couldn't lie on that. Sheikh said he needed an account number before he can transfer money into Anne Marie Ragubeer-van account. Well, Sheikh, I give you an account number publicly, Sheikh, and your wife and your families, they're all dishonest. And who can prove it? I have proven it. Your workmen, your lawyer, your doctor, your sister, your wives, the women you fuck or sex, your associates, your friends, they're all dishonest. And you call yourself a good royal family? That's a message even to Kate and the British royal family. When you want to see thieves, the biggest of thieves are working inside the British HMRSC office at Dowding Street 12. They are thieves. They're white men and women and black African men and women, but they are the biggest thieves. And that's a message from Mikhail Khodorkovsky, Roman Abramovich, Vladimir Vlasovich Putin, Dmitry Antonovich Medvedev, Russian president, Russian prime minister, Roman Abramovich, Chelsea, and the rest. Guyana former president Barry Jagdeo, Uma Varshni Singh, the Guyana former first lady, Marian Herbert, Guyana London Embassy, Mr. Lalishwar Singh, the Guyana Embassy London High Commissioner, President David Granger and the rest of them. You have big, fancy, nice titles, but you are so dishonest. You are dishonest. And you want to say Anne Marie Ragubeer-van is dead? I am not dead. I'm very much alive. I am not a twin. I am not a clone. I am one. Anne Marie Ragubeer-van I was born on Saturday, 1st of July, 1972 at 01:15 a.m. hours. I was born in Georgetown, Guyana, South America. So, Barack Obama, the United States of America president, please note, I, Anne Marie Ragubeer-van I am not a mad lady. I am not mentally ill. I don't use guns and pows and pumps. I don't whiplash. I don't do shooting and things like that to people. But please note, importantly, I am not a fool as your black African men and women of lawyers and judges and your white men and women of adversaries of lawyers and judges. Please note, importantly, I am not a fool. I have not received the check or the money. I, Anne Marie Ragubeer-van I live inside flat 14 Nation House, 10K Road, Erith, DA 184BN, London, Great Britain, United Kingdom. I have not received the check. I have not opened the envelope. I have not received the document. I have not received the money. So Barack Obama, Vladimir Vlasovich Putin, Dmitry Antonovich Medvedev, Guyana former President Barry Jagdeo, former First Lady Uma Varshni Singh, even the Guyana current President David Granger, Sheikh, and others, I believe that something is evidently wrong with your associates, your friends, your families, your doctors, your lawyers, etc. when it comes to money and documents, passport, and wealth. And if I were you, I would sack, Sheikh, I would sack all your white men and women staff until they find that check and money. And even your Indian men and women, if they can't find proof of evidence, and your black African men and women, you fire them all from the company. You send them back home until they can find the money. And that is why white men and women in Great Britain, United Kingdom, when they go to Africa country like Saudi Arabia, why they get their throats chopped off. They deserve what they get. They're too dishonest. Where is your integrity? Where is your honesty? That's a message for the men and women of Indian and Black Africans and of Guyana, South America. You don't want your head and neck chopped off when you get a piece of paper document of a check or cash or gifts or presents to deliver to someone. You must deliver it and make sure they sign for it. You could never say you give Anne Marie Ragubeer-van that check, that cash, the documents, the money. Your lawyers of Black Africans, from the judges to the jury to the panels, the association, the congregation, they are all telling lies. And that is why they deserve their broken bones and dead bodies. You must not feel sorry for them, regardless of their race, their religion, their cultures, their nationalities. A Muslim religion has absolutely no excuse at all for not handing over a check. Salah Belhaj and your white slut puppy bitch of a whore of a wife. Salah Belhaj's wife is a thief. Saif al-Islam al-Gaddafi, Set, Sheikh. What's the point having them white slut puppy bitches around you when they are not so honest? They can't even deliver a check. They can't even deliver a box of cash. They can't even deliver a gift or a present. What is your excuse? They're going to poison you and kill you. You're going to wake up dead. Or you're going to wake up in prison or jail cell. Salah Belhaj, Saif al-Islam al-Gaddafi. You're a Mahuti. What's the point? You have 10 wives, 7 wives. You have 8 brothers, 9 sisters, 54 half brothers. Yeslam Muhammad. You have 54 half brothers and sisters, white men and women. Yes? Indian men and women, and Black African men and women. And none of them could have saved your life. You're dying on your dead bed from a broken bones and arms. You're punishing, you're suffering. You can't even eat the food they're giving you to eat because they're so dishonest. Every plate of food they give to you to eat is like a disease. It's like a sickness. So you cannot eat it. You want the nation to tell the truth? You want the truth to be told to the nation? Let me tell you, the half-dead body of the human being had himself logged in on this Anne Marie Ragubeer-van for the last 7 years now. So I know everything that goes on, from whiplashing, beating, punishment, jail, bail, court of laws. Everything passed through Anne Marie Ragubeer-van Even when you sit in the presidential helicopter or aeroplane, it passed through Anne Marie Ragubeer-van That is why I know the truth. That's not no British secrecy. You white men and women are too dishonest. That's why your face look like shit. Disease. Why you're so cursed. And the Indians and Black Africans the same. Everything that happened to that half-dead rotten man passed through the human body of Anne Marie Ragubeer-van Then you got some audacity to talk about, oh, what's the children going to get? The children are not going to get anything. The children does not deserve anything if we were to put the truth on the table. And the white trash of a whore bitch of a wife who punish him and chain his legs and his ankles, you don't deserve anything. You deserve a long rifle up in your private pussy and anal asshole. That's what you deserve. If the nation and the public and the people really wants the truth of what really happened in the last 7 years, that is part of what happened. And that is why Anne Marie Ragubeer-van was able to write every piece of statement publicly on the internet. and live satellite that I have written and shown. And Vladimir Vlasovich Putin, the Russian president, knows exactly why he could not say anything at all against Anne Marie Ragubeer-van. And don't go out there putting another woman to pose under my name. They just swipe her throat and slash her throat and chop her head into pieces. There is only one Anne Marie Ragubeer-van, and that person is me. I live inside flat 14 Maysham House, 10 Kale Road, Iredie, 1840, London, Great Britain, United Kingdom, as I sit here right now. So every member of staff from the Guyana London Embassy who partake or encourage, including Guyana former President Barry Jagdeo, the President David Granger, or any other presidential associates or members of any race, any color, any religion that encourage it has to be charged and sued, because you cannot, you are acting in the law. You know it's against the law to act under someone else's name in such category of money and such things. So Salah Belhaj, you are within your right senses. You would know it's something wrong to do. Rachel, Free Belhaj, and anyone else, you know that would be something wrong to do. So the British government, police officers and immigration officers, Theresa May, the British Home Office, you know you are incorrect and you are wrong. I don't owe you an apology. You done wrong against my name, and you're telling me that I am too powerful? You tell me I know too much because I stand up and represent my name? Let me do that to your name and see how you feel. How would you feel if someone does that to your name? I am within my legal rights. That's my name. I was born with that name on my birth certificate. I was born in Georgetown, Guyana, South America. You could not stop me from going back to my country, Guyana, South America. You would deserve every broken bones and dead bodies you got, from the President David Granger to what's the woman name? What's the woman? The foreign affairs woman. The last one. I can't remember her name. But you would deserve every broken bones you got. Who are you to make such judgment and such statement? I don't kick you out of Great Britain, United Kingdom, because I was not born in Great Britain, United Kingdom. You tell that to the British HRH Queen. You tell that to Prince Charles. You tell that to any legalities in any court of laws around the world, from black Africans to Indians to white to Chinese. I don't kick you out of your country that you were born and bred as birth certificate, as your birth citizenship, your owner's citizenship. The country or the place you are born is where your birth certificate is issued. That means you are a citizen of that country, not an alien, not a refugee, not an asylum seeker. You were born there. I was born in Guyana, South America by my birth certificate. That means I am a citizen for life until the day I die of Guyana, South America. I am not an alien. I am not a refugee. I am not an asylum seeker. For those of you who don't know the law, I believe that you should learn to read the law. There's so much information and internet technology that can educate you in your own language about your legal rights publicly and internationally. That is not a human rights activist. That is you standing up and representing yourself, protecting your name. And that's what I did. I don't come and act in your name, British HRH Queen, because I am not the British HRH Queen. I am not Kate Middleton. I am Miss Anne Marie Ragubeer-van, and I provide my proof of evidence publicly on the internet and satellite worldwide. I was born in Guyana, South America. You try to tell me I can't go back to my country? Who the fuck are you to tell me I can't go back to Guyana, South America? Who the fuck are you? Even the president of Guyana could not tell me that. You deserve your head chopped into pieces and broken bones. You tell Barry Jagdo that. You chop him up into pieces. Tell him go back to Russia and study. You think it's a joke. It's not a joke. For those of you out there, you must not say or make statements that you have no education about or knowledge. Because long term, you're heading for jail and prison. That's what happened to the girl. She said things that she had no knowledge of what she's saying. And then you're saying you're sorry. Sorry is a bit too late. So you're saying sorry when you're already in jail and prison. Something wrong with your head. She's in jail and prison, and then she says she's sorry. That makes me laugh or want to laugh, but I'm not laughing because I'm using it as an educational weapon or a tool for the people of my country, Guyana, South America, so that they can learn from it. You're saying you're sorry when you're already sitting down in prison cell or jail. You're stupid, very stupid. I don't want to laugh at you. You already made the mistake. The British HRH Queen and David Cameron and Theresa May is not going to come and bail you out of jail. They don't have the time for you. They only fill their pockets with money. They will kick you out of Great Britain, United Kingdom and says, what are you coming to my country for? This is Great Britain, United Kingdom. This is not United States of America or Guyana, South America or Saudi Arabia. You fucking Paki Muslims, go back to Pakistan. That's how British people speak to Muslims. And I have witnessed that. You couldn't tell me things like that because I'm from Guyana, South America. I haven't seen, I don't know about other Guyanese people, but I don't take that trash and shit from any British HRH Queen, Prince Charles, Prince William, Prince Harry, or Prince Andrew or any royals. I don't take whiplashes. If you whiplash someone, you deserve your whiplashes right back to you. If you're a royal family, you're black Africans, you're Indian, you're Chinese, it's an eye for an eye. And I tell that to the Indian Guyanese people, the poor Indian Guyanese people. I tell that to my own brothers. If a British royal, a Jordan royal, a Pakistani or India or who the fuck they are, they whiplash you, you find somebody else to blow their heads out and chop their necks off. They had no right to touch you. They have no right to touch you. You beat their bones from their shoulder to their feet and leave them right on the ground there, regardless if they're white men or women or black Africans or Chinese or Indians, or how rich you are or how royal you are. You have no right to touch or whiplash other people if you don't want it to happen back to you. You have absolutely no right. I don't whiplash anyone. You couldn't do that to me, and you couldn't whiplash my son. I have your head blow out. Even if you're a police officer or immigration officer, you have no right. Learn to do things by written administration and speaking politely, not shouting at people. I don't shout at you what you shouting at me for. That is how I speak to people. You don't shout at me. I'm not shouting at you. Who the fuck are you? That's the way I would behave. You don't have the right to shout at me. Even if you're a police officer in a police uniform or an immigration officer. The law states you're being taught everything in written administration and to speak educationally and wisely and politely, not harassingly or aggressively, and you don't expect that to happen back to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I'm telling you that the causes and the reasons for most of the people, dead bodies and broken bones in Great Britain, United Kingdom, and European countries, and even Russia, and Africa, India, and Pakistan, has been recognized from my researches that they deserved, honestly, their broken bones and their dead bodies. And the reason for that, it was the way they treated people in their uniforms, out of their uniforms, in the line of duty, and out of the line of duty. Remember, my philosophy is a person shall always face the consequences of his or her own mistakes in time and with time. And that has absolutely nothing to do with age, how old you are. It has nothing to do how royal family you are or how rich you are or how wealthy you are or whether your status or status are presidential or prime minister. Absolutely not. Each and every individual shall in time and with time, it may take years and it may happen to your friends, it may happen to your family, it may happen to your children, it may happen to your husband or your wife, but they have to pay the consequences of their past mistakes. And some of those consequences can be very, very detrimental in the form of broken bones and dead bodies, sickness and diseases. And that is the reason, the main reason why I am Marie Ragubeer-van, I never feel sorry or sorrowful or tearful for the dead bodies or broken bones of another person. If I know you're innocent, I will help you and support you, to guide you, to heal you. But if I know you're not innocent, I will leave you right there to die with no mercy. That's my philosophy, and I know most of you don't like it because you might be crying for your friends or your family, your rotten stink wife or husband, your broken bones, your dead babies, and things like that. But always remember, before you place the accusation on another person, always remember that he or she must be paying the consequences of his or her own mistakes at some given time. And time does not tell you when it's going to happen. It can take 5 years, 10 years later. You might be a grandfather or grandmother, a husband or a wife, or whatever it may be, but you end up paying the consequences later for all your mistakes. And your virgin wife or your decent wife at home cannot save you, right? So, message for Salah Belhaj. Salah Belhaj.